Welcome back to the Max Reality. If you've seen my face before, then you know the drill. But if you're new here, my name is Morgan, and I love talking all things reality TV. Today, I decided that I deserve a little treat for finishing out Shark Fest, and because I wasn't feeling good while I was doing it, and I'm still not feeling very well. So I thought it'd be fun to go back in time to one of the shows that I watched growing up, rewatch it, have a little reaction time. If you've seen my parental control video, same idea, but today we are reacting to MTV's Next. Before I start talking about that though, the show I really wanted to do was MTV's Room Raiders, but it is so freaking hard to find an episode to watch. I found one full episode of it on YouTube, and then that was it. So if you're seeing this and you know where I can find more than one episode of MTV's Room Raiders, I'd like to have a little variety. I pick mostly at random, but sometimes I give myself little things to pick off of. I'll say how I picked Next when we get there in a minute. But anyway, if you know, this is my cry for help. I loved that show, and it's like they wiped it. I found clip videos of it, and then one full episode. That was it. Granted, I did only spend about 15-20 minutes looking, but I was in a hurry, so the reason I picked Next as my second choice to Room Raiders is because I feel like they do give similar vibes. I mean, a lot of the MTV dating shows at that time gave similar vibes, but specifically with this one, with having the grouping of contestants and having the snap judgments being made about them, very similar vibes. And then I picked the episode based off this thumbnail. I just thought it was the best thumbnail out of all the different options for episodes, so I went with it, and I don't know anything else. I didn't read the description. We're gonna just start this together. If you weren't blessed enough to get to watch this show in its prime, I'll tell you a little bit about it. The show aired from 2005 to 2008 on MTV, and it was one of their many weird dating shows that had fun little twists to them. In this one, there'd be one person that everybody's trying to date, and then there's 5 or so contestants that sit on this bus near wherever the date's gonna be. And one by one, they'll come out. And so somebody will come out of the little bus thing, and you'll get their name, their age, and some fun facts about them, and then they go up to have a date. And then, at any point, the main dater who they're all vying for can say, "Next," and that person's date is over, and the next person from the bus comes out, and we start all over again. Very similar to that YouTube dating show that's really popular right now, The Button Show. Kind of a similar idea, except it's only one person that's getting to make the decisions. And while all this is happening, there's actually a money prize component that's playing underneath. Editing Morgan here, so I just think my sick brain made me completely mess this part up. I just described it 100% not how I meant to, so I'm gonna fix it right now. The money component is whenever a guy steps off the bus and they start their date, every minute that they're on the date equates to $1. But you see, I couldn't remember exactly who ended up getting money in this scenario. I didn't remember if it was the final guy or the guys on the bus, and I think that confusion is what made me completely just botch this part, and that confusion continues throughout the video some, so I felt like I needed to highlight it, but we do get an answer on who gets the money, never fear. Anyway, moving on. So let's all enjoy the beautiful stylings of Season 6, Episode 17 of Next. I also want to say I had to do Season 6 because that's the only one they have on Paramount. MTV, give us your old shows. Do it. Please. I pay money to Paramount. I know they have your stuff. I know you have your stuff because at one point you announced that you were going to put it all on YouTube. Anyway, that's my own personal issue. After watching the little opening theme thing, I think maybe only the last person gets money, because I was reading the Wikipedia article again, and it says when the person has decided they want to stay with the date they're on, they say, "You've been on a date with me for X number of minutes. You can either take X amount of money or go on a second date." So I guess only they get money? We're gonna learn together, guys.
I'm Desiree, I'm 19, and I'm looking for a guy that can party down, south of the border style.
I always forget how young everybody on these shows was. She's 19! That's crazy.
My ideal guy gets along with his own familia because he'll be spending a lot of time with mine. Muchachos, show me your cojones!
The way MTV and so many of these shows in the early 2000s did these little intros is criminal. I forgot the daters also got their own little intros, and those are so much worse. I don't know how much of it it's gonna let me play, but I'm at least gonna play one of them for you. But they're all, whichever one I play, all 5 or the other 4 are equally as upsetting.
I'm Eric, I'm 22, and this Jewish boy's strategy is to spin this girl like a dreidel.
I'm Desi, I'm 20, and if this girl next to me, she's got some splaining to do.
I'm David, I'm 20, and if this girl likes Ryan Gosling, I'll make her notebook sticky.
I'm Giovanni, I'm 22, and I'll win because I'm half Russian and half creamy Italian.
I'm Nick, I'm 19, and this Hispanic is gonna cause a panic in this girl's panties. Andale!
The guys are gathered in their quarters. Desiree wants one to go south of the border.
That poem, what the hell? That's so funny. I can't remember, do they start them all like? They've got to. I guess they start all of them with a ridiculous little poem. That's fantastic. I love it. We're only like, a few minutes in? It's a perfect show. Perfect, no notes.
Eric's first. He thinks he's the primero caballero. But for other señores, hope he gets very little dinero and a next.
Is this woman a sorcerer? Does she only speak in riddles and rhymes? I love it. It's so funny. Why?
I'm up first, guys. Time for this nice Jewish boy to say hi. I hope this girl likes sarcasm, or this date's gonna be awesome.
The amount of cheesy lines that everybody, especially the contestants, have to memorize, they deserve to be in a union for that, because making them introduce themselves cheesily twice, incredible. So our first dater we have is Eric. Feels very 2008. I didn't know how 2008 would get right off the bat, but all of his descriptors, the outfit, the face, the lines, painful little time capsule, but so good. I don't even know how much time we should be spending on looking at each of these guys, because he might be gone in 10 seconds, but we should give it up for Eric in 2008. Good news, our man Eric made it off the bus. He did not get nexted right away. She told him what the date is. They're gonna have a little fiesta, and they're gonna get dressed up, I guess. And now he has to go get dressed, and then they can start their date. All good signs for Eric so far. Now the only way he can mess it up is from something he says.
And you guys collect V-cards?
I got a little collection, yeah, definitely.
You guys like write them down on cards or something? Or
No, dude, it's not an actual card, it's just...
it's all mind, memory.
Yeah.
Oh.
I forgot that we randomly get to go back to the bus, because at the end of the day, they're just 4 dudes having to sit on a bus, hanging out, and they just... Oh, so painful. This is so funny, though.
Hey,
Okay, so as we just saw, the timer is at 6 minutes and 34 seconds. So he gets to take up all that time while he's changing as part of his date. Feel like that's cheating. I feel like I would take a really long time to get ready. I bet they do have some like producer being like, hurry up, but that's why you're just like, oh, I have a sore arm. It's hard to get into the suit or something. Gotta strategize. So how the little date game works is she has her aunt there, and her aunt is going to be telling the different guys clothing pieces to bring to Desiree so she can get dressed for their little fiesta. Only little catch is the aunt only speaks Spanish, so she'll be saying the items to them in Spanish, and they just have to hope and pray, or no Spanish. Either way.
Está bien.
¿Hablas español?
Muy pequeño.
¿Muy pequeño?
Chiquito?
¿Poquito?
Chiquito?
¿Eres chiquito?
El chiquito?
¿Eres chiquito o hablas muy poquito?
Muy poquito.
Muy poquito.
Poquito.
No, no habla español. No.
Rosado.
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 Rojo. No.
You would look nice in that.
Rosado.
No? Okay.
This man, yeah, I know a little Spanish. I feel like the first thing you learn when you learn Spanish are the colors. Like, really, my guy? Really? Like, I get him not knowing the clothing article name, but the color? Criminal. Because this man chose to sleep in beginner Spanish lessons, he gets nexted.
I really wanted to pick out the right dress for Desiree. I guess I'm a Mexican.
Also, when this man's date ends, we see $8 come up. So, I should just wait till the end to figure out how all this... I swear my brain is broken. I should just wait till the end to figure out how exactly the prize works, but I want to just keep making guesses so I can say I was right and remembered. Anyway, I'm wondering if the money pools up and the last person who she decides to, ask on the second date, if they get the total of all the dates, or does he get $8? I need that explained.
Eric had to take a stroll, cause él no habla español.
The lines, they're so funny. I love this sorcerer narrator we have who just speaks in little riddles. It's so, it just feels so pure. Early reality TV is just so funny. Such a time capsule of just the weirdest stuff that we were like, yes, this is what people want. That poor kid. I love that they made them just keep that in there and didn't let him do his little line. They were like, nope, we're keeping that. Don't care. That's so funny. This is also the kid who did the little I Love Lucy tagline for his beginning. I don't know if I put that in here or not, but he did if she doesn't like me, she'll have some splaining to do. So I'm thinking he might have a better chance at this Spanish challenge, hopefully. Our second contestant here, the Clumsy King, Desi. So the main things we know about him, these super just random facts. He thinks he's Ricky Ricardo, and he's kind of clumsy.
Hi.
Hi. Next.
That man could have broke his arm. He could have had a concussion, and she just nexted him. Justice. Justice for Desi. I was wondering what they were going to do about the suit thing. Part of my mind thought that the first guy would just have to be like, here you go. But I guess they're probably all different sizes. But anyway, poor Desi. So mean. So sad.
Like my tia Consuelo always tells me, if you don't want to chuck 'em.
Claro que sí.
Do I need to remind the class that she's 19? Oh, God. Oh my God, MTV, 2008. What a time. What a time to be alive. Like, I'm not a prude. I'm not saying 19. I know what 19-year-olds are doing. I was 19. I know. But it's just so funny to have her just say that on TV. It's just like, what? It's just, I guess it's not a lot different than Love Island, but still, it just feels so much more, what's the word, blunt? I think that just with the, like, cheesy line delivery, it's different when somebody on Love Island just naturally says something like that. It's different to hear a 19-year-old say a scripted line like that. I just can't.
She didn't even let me speak Spanish. Dave, you're next.
Hey guys, shake and bake.
I don't think it helped Desi that he was wearing a shirt with an X on it. I feel like it gave her subliminal messaging. I'm totally kidding. That was my first thought, though. When he got on the bus, I was like, oh, yeah. Also, the scripted lines between them to send each other off are so funny. This is high-tier comedy. This was not a reality dating show. This is just pure comedy. It's excellent. Unfortunately, our guy David didn't get a fun little scripted intro line, but we do get these interesting facts about him. Especially the last one. I have so many questions that I don't actually think I want the answers to, if we're going to be real about it, so.
Tráele el vestido rosado y los zapatos plateados. ¿Sabes?
And spoiler alert, he did actually know. I was very impressed. I had little faith in him. I actually almost just pre-recorded this to say he didn't know because I was making assumptions. I was being biased. And I'll admit it. I'll be honest when I do that. But he got it right, and you know what? Good for him. Because David got all the clothes right, he gets to move on to the next portion of the date, the fiesta. But before we see that, we get another little bus boys moment. They're talking about what they do. One of them is working on his master's in spacecraft engineering or something like that. And this leads the guys to be like, oh, so you must know a lot about space. Oh, if you know about space, you must know about Uranus. And you can see where the jokes continued from there. These scripted little, again, the writers are under-recognized on these shows.
Is there any way I can see Uranus right now?
Well, you gotta wait for night. So, but I have a telescope over at my house in a pretty dark room.
Well, why don't we all go to your place and see Uranus together?
All right, it's a date.
Yeah.
Yes! Yes!
So we get to the fiesta. There's a bunch of piñatas hanging everywhere, and she tells him she's going to blindfold him and give him 2 minutes to hit as many as possible, and I assume if he doesn't do it to her liking, she will next him. And luckily, he smacks those things to pieces. So now, he gets to move on to the next portion of the date, where they're going to sit down and get to know each other a little better. So they're around 45 minutes into the date, aka $45, remember? And they start talking about sports, and they have a little disagreement on football teams. You think she's going to next him, but she doesn't. Then we go back to the busboys and another completely just weird little scripted moment. If you'll remember earlier, our guy Eric, he is a big fan of Tom Selleck, and he's like, do you want to play my Tom Selleck trivia game? And they all have these little mustaches, and this show is so, and they even do a graphic for it. I can't, hilarious. We don't edit or produce like this anymore. With just pure silliness at heart, you know?
All right, round one. On the very popular TV show Magnum PI, what was the name of Tom Selleck's character?
Was it just Magnum?
Yes, it was! Correct for $1,000.
So they're still on their date. We have passed the 60-minute mark at this point. They're having the normal conversations about, like, what do you major in? All is going well, and it seems like we're to the final question.
We've been on this date for 68 minutes, which means you've earned $68. Now you can either take the money, or you can go on a second date with me.
Okay, we have to take our bets. Is he gonna take the money, or is he gonna take a second date? Number one, it's just so funny, the stakes. Like, $68, not that $68 is not a lot, especially when you're, like, 22 or whatever. I don't know what the, like, tax rules are when the dollar amount is this low. Like, do they just get the $68, or is there some sort of weird, like, game show tax they're paying on it? Because if so, like, it's such a weird stake. Like, Okay, so I had to look it up. I knew there were game show tax in general, but I was thinking that maybe under a certain amount, they wouldn't tax you at all. From what I see, it seems like the federal tax is 10%. If it's 11,000 or under, it literally says 0 to 11,000. So, and then it looks like on top of that, you'd also be paying some sort of state tax. I might be wrong, but anyway, even on this small amount, you still have to pay some game show tax, which I think is so funny. Editing work in here again. I just wanted to clarify that the game show tax rules that I'm looking at are for current day. I didn't try to, like, specifically look up 2008. That seemed kind of difficult for just a funny little reaction video. So just to be clear, these are what the game show taxes are as of, today. Anyway, getting back to my little sidetrack there. And while one thing you need when you're that age is money, the other thing everyone wants that age is hookups or a date, whichever. So it's like, a little more than $60 or a date. I guess it just depends how good he is at, doing that without the game show. What was he truly here for? Was he here for the right reasons? I'm getting ridiculous. All that to say, I think my bet is he's going to take the $68. Something about his body language while they've been having their little chit-chats made me just feel like he's not really feeling her. So I'm going to go with takes the money.
How do I look?
Wow.
The flashback sequence. This is so fun. For a show that's so short, the amount of, so funny. I love it. I'm here for it. Honestly, yes. Pensive. It's giving early bachelor.
Well, Desiree, I had a great time today. But I'm a Chargers fan, and you're a Dallas fan. And that just doesn't fly with me, so I'm gonna have to take the money.
I was right. This is my redemption from being wrong on the parental control episode.
Well, guys, she had me hitting some piñatas, and then we ate some cake. And after 68 minutes, she asked me on a second date. What happened?
The amount of rhyming. This has been funny every time because it's always so unexpected, especially when one of them does it. Oh my god, that's so funny. How many times did he have to say that to himself before he went on the bus? I would have been losing my mind. I'm so bad at stuff like that. I would have been like, okay, 68 minutes, 68 minutes. That's so... And then the guys having their little Grease moment. Tell me more, tell me more. Fantastic television.
Dude, she was a Cowboys fan. Of course I took the money. Took the money because of that? Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no.
I'm out of here.
What?
That's a jerk thing
What?
to do.
That was very
What?
insensitive.
I can't believe David chose the Chargers over me. They don't even have cute uniforms.
At least I got you.
Truly fantastic television. I guess I should have said we were reacting to half an episode of Next because each episode has this happen twice. They jam so much into these shows. The show is only like 21 minutes, so it's a 30-minute show when it had commercials. And it is going. It is always going. And that is something I do think we need to work on again. I feel like I picked a pretty fun one, a pretty tame one though. Nothing too mean happened. I mean, we had the immediate nexting, but nothing too wild. I remember there being some mean things said on the show, so luckily I feel like the meanest thing, honestly, was making Desi keep his little intro be him falling down the stairs. Unless he asked for it and just thought it was funny, then that's fine, but I just don't feel like that's what happened. Honestly, after watching it back, it really is so much like that button dating show, minus the fact that both people have the ability to press the button. And my question was answered about the money. Only the last person gets the money. It was just confusing to me because, like, why even show the amount of money that the person was gonna earn? I wonder, what if they all get nexted? Do they get some money or does just everybody loot? Look, y'all, I tried to look it up. The Wikipedia doesn't really give me a real answer to my exact question, but I'm going to go with that I don't think they get any money if everybody gets nexted, because that just doesn't make any sense, right? Since that button show exists, I don't even need to think about if this is something we could do today, because we practically are doing it today, and that show can get really mean. I have seen clips of it, and I'm like, is somebody talk to me like that? And there's just a table, And that is a wrap for us talking about the first half of episode 17, season 6 of MTV's Next. Like I said earlier, I loved this show growing up, but I loved all the different game shows, reality dating shows, anything and everything like this. I was a huge fan of it. So let me know if you remember growing up watching Next, if you've seen that new YouTube button show that lets you reject people. Also, if you have any suggestions for any older shows that we should react, recap, and if you know where to find episodes of Room Raiders, let me know. All that down and more in the comments. And until then, I'll see y'all in the next one.